What's a mandate? In New York State, you're required to have a stop sign at an intersection. That's a good mandate. We like that one. In New York State, county governments are required to pay for early intervention and special education preschool through its Department of Health. That's a mandate we don't quite understand. Having a child who's lived with and benefited from those services, not so keen on the health department, which is focused on water quality and sanitation sewers, sanitation programs, also responsible for the delivery of perhaps the most important component of public education, early intervention and special education preschool. That's a mandate that continues to confound us. Now, 70% of the net county costs are mandated by Albany or Washington. So 70% of our net county budget dictated to us by Albany or Washington, leaving 30% of our budget. So what does that look like? Is that the next slide? This is what the mandates look like within at least the projected 2014 budget. These are the budget again, 70% of which directly here. $44 million for Medicaid, $12.2 million for foster care, $3.8 million for safety net, and $9.3 million for preschool, special education, early intervention programs. We don't have any say on how these programs are to be delivered. It's like, Albany says, we have a really good idea, but it's not so good that we're going to pay for it. We'd like you to pay for it. And I haven't met yet a Dutchess County taxpayer that wants your property taxes to go to their desire to spend money. So this is something that's got to be confronted. We cannot continue to afford to shoulder the growth in mandated expenditures, but that's what they look like. So no new mandates. That's never going to pass. What can pass is a very structured take-back of early intervention preschool services, a very structured take-back of Medicaid costs, and say to them, if you can help us focus on scaling back in this area for this reason, and I use preschool early intervention because it's logical. It doesn't make any sense for the health department to be managing early intervention, special education. It makes sense for the folks in education to do that, and that's supported by school districts and your state income tax. A structured take-back, one little bite at a time, one digestible point at a time. Don't tell me you're opposed to mandates, you sponsored a piece of legislation that you just don't like mandates. I mean, that's anybody can do that. I don't like clowns. I'm going to have a legislation to oppose clowns. I mean, it's never going to be law. What can work is very focused steps back, and we will support you in that effort. If you want to work collaboratively with the state legislative delegation, we're open to it. Certainly would like to. Let's focus on that and have them not talk in broad generalities, but very specifics as it relates to legislation, and we'll be right there with you. That's the way to get at it.